Hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on misplacedstraws.com, where music comes to life. My guest today is the singer and songwriter of really one of the best rock bands of this generation. Shaman's Harvest is about to release their seventh studio record, Rebelator, on March 11th. And joining me to talk about the record and the upcoming tour is vocalist Nathan Hunt. Welcome, Nate.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And it's funny because I still think of Shaman's Harvest as a new band. I mean, does it feel like you guys have been doing this for 20 years
No,
now?
no, it doesn't. It does feel like we're still a new band.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, every record that we do is a different cycle, and it's almost like you're a whole different person.
Mhm.
It feels like to me, anyways. Every time we do one of these things, so you know, who we were a record ago is a completely different band. You know.
Well, and I think especially with a band like yourself, the records are so personal. So much of you goes into it that it almost does feel like, you're becoming something new every time.
Yeah, no, it keeps it interesting for us, and it keeps the music honest.
Mhm. And the new record, Rebelator, it's out everywhere March 11th. And it's been quite a while since Red Hands, Black Deeds, but you guys took a little bit of a different approach than you normally do. You released singles throughout the year last year, leading up to the record, beginning
Mhm.
with Bird Dog, which honestly is a track that still blows me away every time I hear it. It's amazing. Was that strategy just because of the pandemic, just kind of stretch out the cycle a bit, or were you kind of planning that anyway?
Yeah, well, it wasn't really necessarily planned. The record took so long to come out. I mean, we've been sitting on this record for 2 years.
Mhm.
We were chomping at the bit uh, to release something. So that's part of it. The other part is how people release records now is different than it was when we released our last record. You know, people want to be gratified immediately. So, we try to give some tracks that probably aren't necessarily singles, maybe radio singles or whatever, but that still kind of represent what the record
Yeah.
is for
Mhm.
us. So yeah, it's kind of a new strategy for us,
Mhm.
but I think I like it because the benefit to this is it gives people some time to either hate it or fall in love with it. And sometimes what we do first listen, people are because songs are so different from song to song.
Mhm.
People are kind of taken off guard, so it gives them time to I don't know, appreciate this work that we spend all of our time doing. You know.
Well, it's funny. You say how, it's different song to song and really record to record. And that goes to one of the things that I've always liked about your band is you don't pigeonhole yourself. Nobody could sit there and say Shaman's Harvest is, a southern rock band, a metal band, a 70s band, because you're all of that and more, metal band. Do you ever, when you're putting a record together, I mean, does the idea of genre ever enter your mind in a world where everyone's going for that spot on a playlist now?
Yeah, I don't really understand the need to. I've never understood the need for people uh, to identify a thing.
Mhm.
I don't. It is a thing that people really want to do.
Mhm.
It hurts us in the sense maybe from like we'll get put on like Apple Metal playlists
Yeah.
all the time, and it's never like it's like our least metal song always that does that, and so people are looking for specifically looking for metal song, and it's not. So it might hurt us in that sense, but I mean the benefit for us is it, it keeps it fresh.
Mhm.
We can always we're literally just capturing the mood of our day
Mhm.
when we're writing a song, or several days depending on how
Mhm.
hard it is to write that song. Uh, so it's true. It's honest. You know. So I think it keeps it more honest. It's probably not the best business model, but we didn't go to business school.
Well, but I think though you have a really loyal fan base. You have a core that's been with you for the 20 years and people you've picked up along the way. And I think it says a lot about you guys as a band that you have fans that signed up for that ride. They're
Yeah.
with you with whatever turn you take and they're there to support you. Does that give you sort of a sense of just satisfaction knowing that they're at least willing to listen?
Oh, for sure. It's funny too because those fans will be the same fans that are going, "Boy, I hate that new song. It's nothing like their last record."
Mm,
But you've come back a month later and you see another comment from them or something. I mean,
mm.
the first rule of the internet is don't read the
Yeah.
comments. Sometimes you can't help it. Uh, and then there's a new comment like, "I take back what I said
Yeah.
earlier.
Mm,
This is actually my new favorite song."
mm,
So uh, there's passion. They're passionate,
yeah.
which we can appreciate. Otherwise, why do it? Um, and uh, the passion always shows whether it's positive or negative
Mhm.
feedback. Uh, as long as they're passionate, I don't care.
Yeah. It- when you were growing up and even starting out, I mean, did you listen to a lot of different types of genres, and that's sort of how the band has become so diverse?
Oh, for sure.
Mhm,
Uh, I mean everything. I mean the Delta blues really got its hooks into me as a
mhm,
young person. Um, but everything from Coltrane to Black Sabbath
mhm,
was played at my house. Um, so you know the record collection my parents had was, I mean, it was a wide range, and the records were always playing. So yeah, I mean, I think it's probably definitely contributed. Also, I think probably the biggest contributor to our sound is when we first started. Like most bands, we were doing 4 hour sets
mhm,
at the biker bars or
yeah,
whatever, playing covers and then sneaking your own
mm,
stuff every once in a while in. Uh, and we played everything under the sun
mm,
to play there, from what was modern at the time to the classic rock stuff.
mm,
So that kind of really helped mold learning how to perform
mhm,
uh, those songs on stage. It kind of molded how we write, for sure.
mm. And when you're creating a new Shaman's Harvest record, are you writing sort of for the moment, or are you the kind of guy that while you're on tour, you're always jotting stuff down and then you kind of compile it all when it's time?
Absolutely, at the
Mm,
moment.
mm,
Absolutely. I try to write from time to time on tour, but I'm the type of person where I have to compartmentalize
mhm,
who I am as a performer on tour, as a singer songwriter.
mm,
You know what I mean? They almost seem to be in two separate worlds for me because
mm,
I want to. We all of us in the band want to give our complete selves to each one,
right.
and just I don't think we're. Uh, it's kind of hard to fracture the
Mm,
mind like that,
mm,
and I don't have that kind of skill. Um, so what's happened in the past, with most records we do, it's we walk in, there's a maybe just a minuscule line of a melody and maybe like a rough idea of a guitar riff, and we write and then record it right then and there,
mm,
and you capture the passion and all the things that haven't had a chance to be rehearsed out. Um, this record, we just wanted to see what kind of songs we would write if we really took pre-production and really like demoed the songs and um, uh, found out what works, what doesn't work, what sounds forced, what's natural, all those things. And so this time around, we really took the writing process kind of extreme. We took a year off to do it.
mm.
A record shouldn't make it. Shouldn't anymore. Shouldn't take a year to make. We're not cutting tape anymore. But we did.
And speaking of playing live, you guys will be hitting the road with Theory of a Dead Man for a month coming up in February and March. And back in the day, a band would release a record on a Tuesday, the tour started Wednesday and went on. Nowadays, not so much, but you guys are actually starting the tour about a month before the record comes out.
Yeah.
Does that help with the strategy of releasing singles throughout the year? Because this way you have new stuff that is familiar to an audience.
Yeah, and we'll be playing. I mean, the only new stuff we'll be playing is the stuff that's been
Yeah.
released to this point. Um, I think, yeah, I think that absolutely helps familiarize the concert goers. Um, and also, it's going to be cool because we can see in real time the record's going to come out middle of the tour.
Mhm.
So we can see in real time like what kind of response that's going to be from the fans directly,
Yeah.
and not just behind a computer.
And so that tour with Theory of a Dead Man leads up to the Welcome to Rockville Festival.
Hmm.
After that, I mean, do you guys have anything planned, or with COVID, is it let's see how this first leg goes before we commit to the next?
It's kind of all the above. You
Yeah.
gotta you gotta plan, kind of plan for the worst. I
Yeah.
guess is what we all have
Unfortunately.
to do now. We are planning to. We're trying to figure out a headline, like a co-headlining tour
Mm.
in April. Um, so maybe only take a few weeks off, then
Mm.
go back out. If it happens, uh, I'm almost going to be surprised at this point, but
Mm.
we hope that it does. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm up here in the Northeast, so we won't get you on this run. So hopefully in April, we'll see you soon.
I believe
Yeah.
that's what we're kind of
Yeah.
focusing on.
And as the pandemic kind of delayed everything, and you mentioned that you finished this record a couple years back, really, have you begun writing for the next project, or was it no, we're just going to wait and run this out and then start over again when we're finished with this cycle?
Oh, well, initially it was like, yeah, we're gonna wait, finish the cycle, and then
Mhm.
hit them again. But because uh, COVID hit right when we are finishing the record,
Mhm.
uh, we've had plenty of time to write some stuff. So we're already, I'd say we probably got half a record worth of ideas that are worth recording.
Mhm.
There's a 10 times amount of songs that don't need to be on a record, but
Yeah.
we've probably got about a half record of worthy songs.
Looking forward to it. Again, we've been spending some time here with Nathan Hunt from Shaman's Harvest. The record is called Rebelator. It's out everywhere March 11th. You'll be hitting the road with Theory of a Dead Man for a month through most of February and March, leading up to the Welcome to Rockville Festival. And just how do you guys feel about playing festivals? I know bands kind of go either way on it. I mean, are you a
Mhm.
band that wants to hit as many festivals as possible so that you could play to people who may not know you? Or do you prefer your show where you know it's your fans out there?
Uh, I mean, I just like playing to people. I do
Mhm.
love surprising people. That's like one of my favorite things when you can see it dawn on their face. So they start out and they're like, "Who is this?"
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, okay, I get it." That's kind of a cool thing. I hate festivals for the fact that you have like, as a performer, you have like 5 minutes or under to get all your gear up on stage, working, plugged in, ready to
Yeah.
go, and it never works out that way.
Yeah.
Usually you're without a guitar player or something. Something is wrong.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the bummer. And it's just a stressful kind of day
Mm.
as a performer. But I mean, there's an energy level at festivals that are
Mm.
pretty insane that you don't have it in clubs anymore. But you know, the intimacy of clubs is pretty much you can't beat that either.
Yeah.
So they
Without
both
a
have their
doubt.
strong suits. I'm not an either or kind of gal. I like it all.
Wherever there's a stage, you're going to play it.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, again, Shaman's Harvest, the record Rebelator, out everywhere March 11th. Catch them on the road through February and March with Theory of a Dead Man. Nate, it's been a pleasure meeting you and talking with you. Best of luck with the record. It's a strong record. I've
Man.
been listening to it quite a bit since I got a copy of it. So, best of luck with it, and hopefully we could see you up here in the Northeast sometime soon.
Let's do it. Appreciate it, man.
You got it. Thank you.
See ya.